and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kathleen, and today's video we are going to do my November wrap up and my December TBR. Now normally I do film these videos separately, however I decided to combine them because in the month of November I barely read at all. I can't say I went through a reading slump. It's more like that I read very slowly, and I only read 2 books, but it took me pretty much like 2 weeks to read these 2 books, which was pretty much the entire month of November. And I ended up also picking up some great books to show you guys that I want to definitely read during the month of December. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and start first with the books that I read, the only 2 books that I read. And I read the first 2 books in the Grisha Trilogy by Leigh Bardugo, which is, the first book is The Shadow and Bone, and the second book is Siege and Storm. Now the reason why I decided to pick up these books was because the Six of Crows duology just came out, which is set in the same world as the Grisha Trilogy, and that duology is getting so much hype on BookTube. A lot of people are praising that duology, so I really wanted to read it, and this series has gotten a lot of praise. Sam from Thoughts on Tomes, she really enjoys this series, so I decided to go ahead and pick it up, and I have to say I absolutely adored these 2 books. I really liked the magic system in this world. In case you don't know what the Grisha Trilogy is about, it is set in a fantasy world where there are these people with magical abilities over matter, like the wind, light, dark, water, stuff like that, and they're called the Grisha. And the Grisha are kind of ruled by this one guy who can control darkness, and he's called the Darkling. And they are living in a world where there's this huge shadow fold that's kind of dividing the land between one side and the other side, and it's kind of really dangerous to cross this shadow fold, and people only do it with the help of the Grisha, and they're kind of waiting for this one important Grisha to come to kind of help them defeat the shadow fold or get rid of the shadow fold. And that's where our story begins. It is absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed the first book. I gave it 5 stars. I really enjoyed the character of the Darkling. I think he's such a complex character, and he's a very gray character in a world that sometimes can be seen as black and white in this world. And this book, I gave this book 4 stars, mostly because I did feel like this book did suffer a little bit from second book slump. It was sometimes in some of the scenes very tedious. They were just basically traveling a lot and trying to find these things that are very important to the main character's powers, and it was very enjoyable. I really liked this book, and it gave a lot of insight on the Grisha, also on their history, and I feel like this book was a huge setup for the 3rd and final book, which I cannot wait to read. Alright, so for my December TBR, I picked a few books that I'm really interested in reading. So the first book that I have to read, and I have to read it by Saturday, is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. In case you are wondering why my book has a white cover, this is the Owl Crate exclusive cover, and it's absolutely gorgeous. If you're interested in seeing my Owl Crate unboxing for the month of November, I'll leave it linked down below. But this is the BIBLIO Squad's book pick of the month for November, and our live show is this Saturday, so it's in 3 days, and so I have to read this now. I've started reading it. I'm not very far in the book. This is my first Marissa Meyer book that I've ever read. I really have to finish this book. This book is about 450 pages, so it's not a very huge book, so I definitely can read it by Saturday. Alright, and then the next 3 books that I want to read, and I definitely am going to read this coming month, is the True Blue Trilogy by Joyce Scarborough. This trilogy was sent to me by the author for an honest review, and I am planning on doing this review this upcoming month. But this is basically a contemporary trilogy, and it is a coming of age trilogy, and it's about, I believe, about this girl who grows up with these 2 boys, and she kind of starts developing feelings for them, and so it sounds really interesting. It's been a while since I've read a good coming of age contemporary, so I'm really excited to read these. It looks like something that I'm definitely going to enjoy, because you guys know that I love my contemporaries. I just don't read enough of them, so I'm very excited to read these. They're not very long at all. Between these 3 books, there's only about 600 to 650 pages, so I'm going to get through this so fast, and I really cannot wait to read them. And then the next book that I am planning on reading this month is, of course, the last book in the Grisha Trilogy, which is Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. This is the final book in the Grisha Trilogy, and it's gonna tell me what's gonna happen, if they're gonna be able to defeat the bad guy or not, and what's gonna happen with all the Grisha. And I'm so excited because, like I said earlier in this video, I really enjoyed the first 2 books, and I just heard that the 3rd book is freaking amazing, and I really cannot wait to read this book. And then the next book that I am planning on reading this coming month, I feel like I'm adding way too many books to my December TBR, but I'm gonna be ambitious and I'm gonna push myself to get through all of them. And it is the Crumbs Gay by Evelyn Skye. This is the BIBLIO Squad's December book pick of the month, and we will be having our live show on the first week of January. And so I'm really excited to read this. I got this book a long time ago, and it's been sitting on my bookshelves for so many months. I've heard a lot of great things about this book, but I'm so excited for this book. It just, I just need to get to it because it's been sitting on my bookshelf for far too long. And then, if I manage to read all of these books, it will be freaking amazing because there's already 6 books on the list. If I manage to finish all of them, the next book that I am planning on reading is 6 of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This has been getting so much hype on BookTube, and I am reading the Grisha Trilogy so that I can read this book because the Grisha Trilogy came out first, so I feel compelled to read the Grisha Trilogy first, even though it's not required. But this book has been getting a lot of praise. The 2nd book just recently came out, and it's so beautiful. I love the black edges, and then Crooked Kingdom has red edges. It's so beautiful. Anyway, guys, that is my very, very sad wrap up in my very, very ambitious December TBR. Let me know down in the comments below what books you're planning on reading during the month of December, because I would really, really love to know, are you being as ambitious with your TBR as I am? And the thing is, the holidays are coming up, which means it's a very, very busy time. Let's cross our fingers and hope that I get through all of them. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. All of my social medias are linked down below, including Twitter, Goodreads, and Instagram. I hope to see you guys on my next video. Have a good day, guys, and keep reading. Bye!